September the 11th, 2001 is a date that's embedded in everybody's mind. Everybody knows exactly what happened on that day. 2 aircraft flew into the Twin Towers. Everybody knows where they were. Everybody knows what they were doing. It took 102 minutes for those towers to collapse from the moment of first impact. And there were 1,300 people above the point of impact. Now, we don't know what those people were thinking about, but here's my guess. After they realized that there was no exit, the floors weren't working, meaning they couldn't get down in the elevators, they couldn't get down the stairs. After they had realized that, and they thought about them waking up that morning, saying goodbye to their loved ones, for the rest of the 102 minutes that they had on this earth, I believe what they were thinking about was their past life, meaning how did they live their life? What is the difference that they actually made? What are the people that they came in touch with? And what are the people that they actually impacted on? But you see, there's loads of different instances that we have where we reflect on that ourselves. It could be the Paris attacks. It could be the 6 kids that were killed in the Berkeley tragedy. There's those world events that actually happen. However, there are other times when we have our own personal events. There could be a death of a loved one, where it's like as if the feeling that somebody came and literally ripped our heart out. It could be a serious accident that we incurred, whereby it has a direct impact on how we live our lives from there on. It could be a diagnosis of a serious illness, which again changes the course of our life. There are the times where we actually look back on our life and say, well, hey, I've got to still continue with the business. I still have to run what I'm doing and look after the family. But there's also the times where we look back and say, what's it all about? Why am I doing what I'm doing? It's those dark moments that we actually look back and say, what am I doing it for? What am I here for? What's the purpose of what we're doing? They're the times when we reflect. Now, I'm going to bring you on a bit of a journey, and I'm going to ask you to think about your life and what it is that you're trying to do. And for me, I'm going to try and make the business case for yourselves, because I'm going to talk about giving and what giving will actually make to your business, no matter what business that you're in. Because there's 3 fundamentals of what you want to have in your business. But before I go there, Stephen Covey put this, and he put it so eloquently. But ultimately what he said was, deep within ourselves, we want to make a real difference. We want to be remembered. We want to leave a legacy. Because no matter what it is, when we've got those 102 minutes left for ourselves, it's not about the successes that we've actually achieved. It's not about the capital equipment that we've got, the cars that we have, the houses that we have. It's the loved ones that we've touched. It's the loved ones that we've come in contact with. It's the difference we've made for other people and the impact that we've made for other people. That's what we're going to remember. But there's 3 things in business. A, we want to grow. We want to be the biggest that we can in business. We want to have more turnover. We want to have more profits. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. And success is good. Profits are good. Being bigger and being better and being the best is good. But how do we do it? Secondly, we want to be different. Now, in all the business that you're running, everybody from a marketing point of view says to you, well, what's your unique selling proposition? What's different about you? Why should I buy goods or services from your business and not buy them from your competition? Or where there's a race to the bottom line, meaning the price, how are you going to differentiate your business compared to all your competition that's out there? And that's one thing that business owners are striving to actually achieve, unless you're absolutely unique in the marketplace. But whether you're an accountant, a solicitor, selling widgets or whatever it is, you're always looking out for your competition. And thirdly, we want to be happy. We want to have staff that are motivated. We want to have staff that are actually engaged in the business itself. And we want to finish our day after the 12 hours or the 14 hours or the 16 hours that we've put into that day. We want to feel good and we want to feel happy about ourselves. True? That's what we want. So what does giving mean, and how on earth does that make any difference whatsoever to business, and how can we actually achieve any one of those three aspects? So let me talk about a few different people. This is Blake Mykoski. He runs a company called Tom's Shoes. Now, some people may have heard about Tom's Shoes, but he coined the phrase of 1 for 1, meaning for every pair of shoes that he sold, he gave a pair of shoes away. He developed a concept when he was on travels in 2006 in Argentina, and he saw the kids running around with no shoes on. Their open sores, bloodied feet, and they had to run to get water and run to get to their schools. And in times walking miles to get to those destinations. And he saw the impact that no shoes had on their feet. So he came up with the concept, well, why don't I sell one pair, and for every pair that I give, or sell, I give a pair to a child. Now let me ask you, if all your staff knew that concept, and all your staff were engaged in what they refer to as the shoe drop. The shoe drop is basically where they bring their staff, their customers, and their suppliers off to a place in Argentina or Africa to show them and hand out the shoes to those kids. For any of us that have kids in the room here today, we know what it's like for our kids to get a new pair of shoes, and they're in a first world country. Can you imagine what it's like handing a pair of shoes and the difference that that's going to make to your life going forward? In 2014, and I want to bear this in mind, he set up in business in 2006. In 2014, his business was valued at over $630 million. Business that matters is good for business. It helps you to grow your business. That's a shoe drop. That's what actually happens when you're handing shoes out to kids. Let me tell you about Trina and Heather. Heather run a company called Figs Clothing. Now, what they do is they supply clothing, scrubs to the medical profession. Now, how can you differentiate between your scrubs and your competition scrubs? You can't do it. Is it more comfortable? Is it better colors? Or whatever it may be. You can't do it. So what they do is they give, for every pair of scrubs that they sell, they give a pair of scrubs to a medical professional in a third world country. So far, they've given over 75,000 pairs of scrubs to the medical profession in a third world country. So that's how they differentiate themselves in the marketplace. So by giving and getting your customers and your suppliers and your staff involved will absolutely make a massive difference for you to be able to communicate what's different about your organization. Why are you different? But you're much more than that. You're making that emotional connection with your customers. Do you think customers will want to do more business with yourselves if they know they're having also an impact in the third world country or even somewhere local where a lot of my clients are working on? They know they're making a difference, and if they go on visits to whether it's Temple Street Hospital or Children's Hospital somewhere else, that's the difference they can make. They're seeing it real in their own lives. Some people say, but I don't have the resources. I don't have the margin to give away half my products for every one that I sell. Here's a company, or here's a business, for want of a better word, which are called Surgeons Overseas. And what they do is they teach and upskill medical professionals overseas on the latest techniques and procedures of what they can do to improve their medical practice in a third world country. It doesn't cost them anything except their time. That's it. Now let me talk about the science behind giving. Because what the scientists have proven, and there's loads and loads of research in relation to this, is that it increases the levels of serotonin. So for people from mental health issues, or depression or anxiety, serotonin is the hormone in the body that the doctor wants to increase. By giving, it naturally increases the serotonin. The other hormone, oxytocin. Oxytocin is the love hormone. That's what improves and encourages social bonding. When you're in love, your oxytocin levels are increasing. But what they've proven is the levels of serotonin and oxytocin increase in the giver, the receiver, and the observer. So, when the anniversary of 9/11 comes around again, and every year from now on, I want you to think about the 102 minutes that it took for those people to expire from this life. And I want you to think about your own life and see what it is that you're doing to make an impact on the people that you're coming across. And how can you build it into your current business right now and not leave it until it's too late. Build it in now. So the question I ask for you is, are you simply just building a business, or are you building a business that matters? Thank you.